In terms of revenue, I can tell you in most cities, even secondary markets, like you're gonna make more than you would with a long-term rental. There is demand usually. What's going on, everybody? So I did a previous video on why you should Airbnb your property. So in this video, I'm going to talk about should you Airbnb your property? Does it make sense? So I'm a registered real estate agent and investor. I Airbnb my own properties. I have duplexes and a cottage that we have on Airbnb. So I've gained a ton of experience over the last 2 years doing this with my own properties. And there's a lot of info I was looking for when I was starting out that it wasn't as simplified for me. So I thought I'd just come on and give people some pointers, maybe some value to kind of get them to the right stage so they can make a decision on whether they should even pursue this business or not. So I wanted to kind of start off very high level with if you should even do this, right? Should you Airbnb your property? I'm in the Ontario market, so in the greater Toronto area, there's a lot of people looking to get into this business because with their current properties, they need extra cash flow. If your goal is to just do this as a side hustle, understand you're going to need to commit to it for at least 6 months to a year with your property because you have upfront costs such as furnishing, professional photography, and your time. Right? The time thing is really important because if you already have a well-paying job or a business that takes your full time and you're making a lot of money and you're content, it might not be worth it for you to sidetrack yourself and kind of go from there to here for maybe just one property, right? If you're looking to scale this up and do this with multiple properties or do a business and you just want to start off with your own property, then it's a great idea, right? It might be worth taking that time to learn, spend that money. Don't just do this as a 1 to 2 month trial thing, unless you have a lot of money to waste, because you're probably gonna need to spend at least, like I would say, 6, 7 grand just setting up a unit. That's if it's like a 1 bed, maybe a 2 bed, right? So get that settled first in your head and then move forward. If you think it's a good idea, right, and you want to do it, there's a couple things to look out for. Does your city allow it? Look at the regulation. Google city name, short-term rental regulation, right? Look into it, see if they allow it. If not, then you're either going to need to work around it or just not do it. It might not be worth the risk. B, do you even have demand? Go on Airbnb.com, check out the properties in your area, see are they getting booked up? What do the next 60 days to 90 days look like? Do people have bookings or are they like literally not booked at all? If everyone is not getting booked, like there's not even some people, then something's up. I probably wouldn't really go into that area. Most major cities or secondary markets are pretty good. You can do pretty well. There is demand. There's a lot of different types of peoples there. The thing you can look at to get an idea of that, of people coming in there, like the demand, why it should even be there, is what's going on in that city. Do you have institutions? Are there any public attractions? Are you near any like landmarks? Do you have, like, for city rentals, do you have institutions, colleges, universities, hospitals, big presence of retail, and just a lot of reasons for people to be coming there and moving in there because those are your clients, the people that are either coming there long term, they're between houses, for the longer stays, they're coming for school, they're coming for work, or for shorter stays, people that are coming for attractions. In city rentals, which most people, that's what they're doing, right? If they're in the greater Toronto area or other parts of Ontario, that's kind of what you got to look at. If all that makes sense, then you're going to need to make an investment of time and money. Do some furnishing, source some products from websites I would recommend, because if you go private like Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, it's not scalable. You're not going to be able to find those things again if you're scaling this up as a business or doing it with another property. If you know where to get things from, the next time you'll be quick and it'll save you time and headaches. You're going to probably want professional photography for your place, get everything set up, and from there, honestly, just understand what goes into the day to day. You're gonna have a lot of customer service. It's not like a long-term rental where they check in and they're gone. You're gonna have someone check in. They might have questions while they're staying there. Things might come up. Might be when they're leaving. They might forget something, or if there's any damage. Let's hope that doesn't happen. You're gonna need to stay on top of these things. Your day-to-day pricing, the market trends. You're gonna stay on top of what's happening in the area. So as you can see, it is kind of like a business that you're managing. Especially the more properties you have, the more of systems you're gonna have for these things. The other thing is you're gonna be working with people. You want a very solid cleaner. You want people that are good for maintenance, like handymen, or maybe people for specific things, right? Like plumbers, electricians. This is kind of what it takes, right? So if you're looking at why you should Airbnb your property, this is the kind of stuff you want to like understand that you're gonna have to deal with. In terms of revenue, I can tell you in most cities, even secondary markets, like you're gonna make more than you would with a long-term rental. There is demand usually. I noticed in like most cities, one beds go anywhere between 80 to $100, and with three beds or two beds, they go anywhere between 120 all the way up to 160, sometimes more. Peak season in like July, August. And that's the thing, you're gonna need to kind of like stay on top of your market to see how you should adjust those numbers and play with them. But you can make money to answer that question, right? If you want to do this stuff, but there's regulation or your city doesn't allow it, there's a couple of things you can do to work around it. Like you could do 28-day minimums. Reason being, in Ontario, the short-term rental bylaw says 28 days or less is short-term rental. Anything above 28 days is no longer considered a short-term rental. So if you're renting out your place for 30 days or more, you're fine. You could do it in any city pretty much. But then understand you might fall under some tenancy laws for those people that want to do this because they don't want long-term tenants. These are just things to keep in mind. Look at all of this, analyze it, and obviously don't like look too deep into it and get scared, because if you see that you have potential with your specific property, you're gonna probably notice that, like I can make this amount of money, etc. Don't like start doing what we call analysis paralysis, where you just like look too much into things and you spend a lot of time researching but don't do anything. If you have the money and you have the potential and it's something you're serious about, jump into it. You're gonna need to at least commit for half a year to a year to at least get your money spent on furnishing, marketing back. If you're looking at cities to purchase a property, just be extra careful, because in these times, like the Airbnb market has shifted a little bit depending on the area you're in. So you want to make sure like you do your due diligence. I'm a registered agent, so I can help you with properties in GTA, Hamilton, Niagara region. There is demand here. You just have to understand which properties work the best, and I can kind of guide you with that. So definitely reach out to me if you're looking in these areas. If you have any questions, you could just leave a comment below. I always try to answer everything, or I'll leave my contact info below as well, and you can reach out to me there.